Hey everybody, welcome to TIW Podcast. I'm Eric, and today I watched WWE SmackDown episode 1070 and 205 Live episode 167, both broadcasts on February 21st, 2020. But first, I want to mention very briefly that I've now watched Volume 2 of Dragon Ball Super. That is episodes 14 through 26. And I guess there's just one more episode. Episode 27 is the last episode of the Golden Frieza saga. And every one of these volumes, so all 10 volumes have been released in the United States now on Blu-ray. I don't know why they didn't start off the show, the first volume, make that one 14 episodes, and then everything else lines up after that, basically. Because pretty much there's just one episode at the start of this volume that more or less concludes what's going on there. And then there's one episode left of Golden Frieza saga that's on starts out volume 3. And then at the end, volume 10 is 14 episodes. So they should have made volume 1 14 episodes, then it lines whatever, it's fine. I have all 10 anyway, so it's not a big deal for me. But when volume 2 came out, I would have been so annoyed that I have to wait till volume 3 to get the final episode of what's about to happen. But anyway, I've been enjoying it. I haven't noticed, there's a few parts that are still like wonky animation and all of that. But I mostly watched it while I was working on other stuff anyway. The voice acting is so great. The English dub is what I've been watching. That's what I'm able to watch while doing other stuff because I can understand it just listening. But I know the original Japanese cast are really great too. So that's about it. I really enjoy all of Beerus stuff. Beerus and Whis. They're absolutely my favorite thing about Dragon Ball Super, in both the manga and anime and the movies. I think that's one thing that I definitely like more about the anime is that you get to experience the voice actors playing those characters, because they're both really, really good. And then also in the special features on this volume, you have those voice actors. They watch with the Beerus voice actor with his kids, and so that's really fun. It's only like 12 minutes, but that's worth checking out as well if you already have the Blu-ray. So yeah, I'll keep on keeping up updated on my Dragon Ball Super watch through, and I guess some big stuff is happening in the manga, but I'll talk about that maybe in an upcoming comic book episode. How does this relate to wrestling? Well, we have Mr. Satan claiming that he defeated Beerus and saved the world and all that, and and then he gets challenged by the hero of the planet Snack, and I forget the name of that hero's of that hero. This is just in the first episode of the of the Golden Frieza arc. Technically, I think it's still part of the previous. Anyway, that's a pretty fun episode. That reminds me, my favorite moment of this whole volume is, so there's all kinds of people there because it's a celebration of Mr. Satan, and then he gets challenged by those aliens, and then he accepts the challenge because they congratulate him, but then also they can't properly accept him as a hero unless he defeats their hero. So they have this ring, this fighting area, and Goku is just like flying by carrying his tractor because he needs to get his tractor repaired because he's just farming now. and he stops by and puts down the tractor and is like checking out the match that's about to happen. And then Mr. Satan, he notices him over there. He's like, oh, thank God. So if you want to fight me, you have to prove yourself worthy by fighting this guy first. After he asks Goku to fight for him, and Goku is about to fight him, and then he sees that it was Chi-Chi, and I forget who she was with. But she's walking by and she notices that Goku's there. She's like, what? What is he doing? He's not allowed to train or fight or anything. And Goku's in big trouble. He's like, oh no, I gotta get out of here. But I can't fly because everybody will see me do that, and that's not good. So he tells Mr. Satan to punch him in the face. And so he does, and he goes flying like over the crowd, like over to by where his tractor is. And as he's flying, he's like, oh no, I forgot my tractor. And he picks it up and he keeps on flying. Oh, it's so funny. It might be one of my favorite moments of the entire, like all of Dragon Ball, because it's so ridiculous. I like it when it gets ridiculous like that. So anyway, that's how it ties into the wrestling. Also, I saw Sonic the Hedgehog. As I mentioned, this past Monday on Raw, Ricochet's match was sponsored by Sonic the Hedgehog, the movie, not the fast food company. And I've been meaning to see it since it came out. Finally got to see it earlier today, and it is so great, so great. I really enjoyed it. I will say that I did not like Jim Carrey in the first scene that he appears in. I was like kind of worried, like, oh no, is it like this the whole time? I do not enjoy this at all. But every other scene was way better than that. I think it was just like too mean without any like he just appears and is immediately mean to everybody. And that I didn't really like that, and it didn't. It kind of felt like it was skipping some story when it did that. I think that's why I didn't enjoy it, and then that made me kind of blame the character for it and the performance, when I think there's just something structural that needed to be in that, like at the beginning of that scene or something, because it's kind of abrupt. I guess it was set up by the scene before that and all that, but anyway, the whole entire rest of Jim Carrey's performance I really enjoyed, like more and more throughout the movie. And I don't want to spoil anything, but there's so much stuff. If you like Sonic the Hedgehog, this is bringing him into the real world. This is like about as great as you could imagine it being. I think I don't know if there's any other story that could make more sense or anything like that. The opening when he's on his island, and then he has to like get away from stuff like so this is kind of a spoiler, but it's in the very beginning of the movie. He's being chased. It's all echidnas. They're wearing like masks and stuff, but Knuckles had to be one of them. I didn't notice if any of them had Knuckles, but they're all echidnas that are chasing after him, and he's trying to get away from them, and so that got me really excited. It's really good. Ben Schwartz is amazing as Sonic. James Marsden is very good. I thought it kind of seemed like he was playing Mark Wahlberg in this movie, but I think this might be one of the first movies I've seen James Marsden just play like a regular guy, as opposed to, I saw, what was it? It was the movie with the button, and you get like $1 million if you press the button, but somebody in the world dies, something like that. I think it was in that movie. So he was like a normal guy in that, but it was a horror movie, so it's like a different sort of thing. And then also I wasn't clear on where they were, and then like he told Sonic to go west to get to San Francisco. I thought they were in Oregon or something. That's they got to go south. But apparently they're in Montana at the beginning of the movie, like Green Hills, the town where it starts is in Montana. And I don't know why I totally missed that. It was very likely established immediately at the beginning of the film, which state it was in. But yeah, go see it. It's great. Unfortunately, near me, it's not on the premium screens anymore. So hopefully they bring that back. This week they have Harley and or rather Birds of Prey, Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey as the advertised name now. And Parasite are the ones on IMAX. And I think it'd be really cool to see Parasite in IMAX. It is not the usual type of film that is on a gigantic screen, but I could see it being pretty awesome seeing it on there. Okay, so that's all the movie talk. Let's talk about wrestling. We have so on SmackDown, I saw a bunch of kind of spoilers, some results and stuff like that. But unlike most of the time, or at least the last few weeks when I would see stuff spoiled, that then I wouldn't really be all that interested when I watch. This got me more interested and got me excited to watch when the episode was finally posted on Hulu. And yeah, I really enjoyed both of these episodes. We opened up with an 8-man tag team match, the Usos and the New Day versus Miz and Morrison and Rude and Ziggler, or MMRZ. Miz and Miz. That was dumb. Anyway, before the match, there's so many promos because the New Day are out there. Well, the Usos came out first, and the New Day came out, and then like they were complimenting Usos, but in the tone of insults, and they're like, "No, you're gonna take this compliment. Don't even try to stop us," that kind of thing. But yeah, during this match, there was a like an email logo graphic type thing. I don't know, were these, because I was at SmackDown last week. Did these happen during the broadcast? I didn't see posts about it or anything. Did these happen during the broadcast last week as well? I think I probably wouldn't have put this together, or maybe I would have put it together eventually. But I agree with all the people who are pointing out that, oh, these graphics are for Ali, obviously. And a lot of people on Reddit throwing around the phrase messenger of light, which is a phrase that Ali has used in the past, I'm pretty sure. But I would favor the instead Courier of Dawn. I think that would be a pretty cool name and synonym for that. But anyway, what will this lead to? Is it going to be super awesome? I really hope so, because Ollie is great. All right, so backstage, Drew Gulak has a PowerPoint presentation for Daniel Bryan, all about what he's been doing wrong the past several weeks, and they mention Heath Slater, and Heath Slater just like standing off to the side. He's like, "Wait, what'd you say? What'd you say? You said my name?" And he comes over there. He's really upset. And Daniel Bryan's like, "Heath?" He says, "Yeah, you're looking right at me, man." That's a great response to that. He says, you only beat me last week because I wasn't ready. And then Daniel Bryan says, "Okay, well, are you ready now?" He says, "I'm always ready." So Daniel says to Drew Gulak, he says, so you know all my weaknesses, so maybe you can help him out. So Drew Gulak gets with Heath Slater, so just coach him, all of that, and this leads to the wonderful Drew Gulak on commentary, like talking through like strategy and stuff like that he what he's gotten together on with Heath Slater, and then okay, so I am skipping ahead to this match because I really want to talk about it. So first of all, Michael Cole at the very beginning of this, he gets Daniel Bryan and Heath Slater mixed up. He says that Heath Slater is with them on commentary, and Daniel Bryan is, and Drew Gulak. Like, what are you talking about? I'm Drew Gulak. Heath Slater's in the ring. Are you sleeping out here, Cole? But anyway, Heath Slater, he goes, starts to go up onto the posts to do a maneuver off of the top ropes, and Drew Gulak starts freaking out. He's like, "No, get down from there! Get down from it. This isn't what we talked about." That kind of thing, and I loved the return of that because that was that will always be one of my favorite things that has occurred on 205 Live is the no-fly zone, all of that, and Drew Gulak yelling at his teammates and everything to not do high-flying maneuvers and everything. And I'm really happy to see it return right here. But, of course, Daniel Bryan won that match. But jumping back, we had an Otis Heartbreak package, which was followed by Tucker confronting Mandy Rose backstage, and he says, "What was it all about? You said you were running late," and all of that in a text message. And Mandy Rose, what are you talking about? Somebody on Reddit, when I saw the spoilers for this in the comments, somebody was like, "Oh, that's got to be Sonya doing that then, right?" And that would make the most sense. Although it could also be Dolph Ziggler spoofing the phone. Like, he could set it all up himself. But Sonya does not seem like a fan of... No, she is not a fan of Otis at all. And she says, Dolph Ziggler is more of Mandy Rose's type anyway, right? And I'm thinking, what is that supposed to mean? That's presumptuous, I think. Is that the right way to phrase? There's a great... All right, there's a great bit in Todd Barry's newest, as of right now, I think it came out sometime last year, his newest Netflix special, and it involves the word presumptuous in regards to a coffee shop Yelp review. And I'm not going to try to explain the joke or anything because it's a lot better just to hear him say it. So go check out that special. It's really good. All right, so next we had Renee interviewing Lacey Evans, and Lacey admits that she was being a bully, and I think that was pretty interesting. And then also she is kind of explaining away nasty as like, oh, you can use it a bunch of different ways. Get nasty. So she was like using it in like an affectionate way, and I thought that was. That was good. I enjoyed that. And she says that she's going to be in these the Elimination Chamber match, which means it hasn't officially been announced. I think they're probably waiting until after the Bayley defends her championship at Super Showdown, but they're going to have a women's Elimination Chamber match for SmackDown and for Raw, and also a SmackDown men's chamber match for the Universal Title contendership, because later on we have Sheamus cutting up a video package promo, or not a video package, but a video promo, pre-tape promo. That's what I mean, I think. But saying that he's going to be in the Elimination Chamber. So there at least 3 chamber matches has me wondering maybe I should go to this show. So I'm going to make the decision a little bit later this week, maybe as soon as tomorrow. depending on how a bunch of different things go. But I might change my mind again to go out there for Elimination Chamber. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But this has me excited. That even just watching it on TV, that's going to be exciting. All the Elimination Chamber matches. That'd be great. But then we have an amazing match. The second ever Symphony of Destruction match. The previous participants of the Symphony of Destruction are now on a team, Elias and Braun Strowman, to fight Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro, where Falls Count Anywhere and all the musical instruments around the ring or wherever else they might be able to get them are legal. I mean, it's basically just a Falls Count Anywhere match. No disqualifications, but with many musical instruments provided. So we had a double suplex performed to Braun, sending him into the upright base. That was pretty great. And then this whole sequence with the gong. So Shinsuke was using the gong mallets. They were tied together like nunchaku, whatever the correct word for that is. And then he goes for hitting. I think he's going to hit Elias with a Kinshasa, but he missed. Well, Elias got out of the way, and he Kinshasas the gong instead. So he hits the gong shasa. Is what I would call it. But eventually we get Elias hitting a big elbow on Cesaro through a table, which was fantastic. And then right after that, Braun powerbombed Shinsuke into a piano, and that was really brutal. Because the piano did not give away very much at all, and Shinsuke got the back of his head cut open. So it sounds like he's okay. That wasn't a major injury. He got looked after, all that. I mean, he was bleeding, probably needed stitches and stuff, but it could definitely have been a lot worse. It could have put him out of action. It could have knocked him out. He could be in a coma right now, or worse, listening to Cesaro play cowbell. But anyway, I'm glad that Shinsuke is okay. By the way, okay, so I wanted to mention this because online a lot of people will refer to Shinsuke as Nak, N-A-K. And a while ago, there's like some conversations about people being annoyed that they call him Shin. And people actually do call him Shin, short for Shinsuke, of course. I have never seen any of the wrestlers call him Nak, N-A-K. So that's my request out there. Like, follow what the people who actually know him do, and if you're going to abbreviate his name, use Shin, because that's what people will actually call him. But I prefer just to use full of his either of his names. But anyway, just want to mention that real quick. Up next, we had the Moment of Bliss with just Alexa Bliss. I guess Nikki Cross was sick. It was not mentioned on air, but I saw some posts about it that she was feeling really sick this week. So hopefully she feels better soon. The point of this Moment of Bliss was that the Bellas were on there, Nikki and Brie, and that they will be inducted into the Hall of Fame this year. And this segment ended with Daniel Bryan coming out with Birdie, and that was really nice. That was really fun. And then he hands Birdie off to Bree, and then he heads into the ring to have his match against Heath Slater, which I already talked about. I really like when they have transitions like this. It seems more often than not it's for the married couples. So like Usos transitioning to Naomi, or vice versa, or in this case, well, this is the first time that this has had the opportunity to happen in a while, with Brie being out there and Daniel Bryan coming out. So that was really cool. Up next, we had Dolph run into Mandy, who's waiting for her ride, and he offers her a ride, and then Otis appears from behind a stack of stuff and is devastated. But Otis, what were you doing creeping back there? All right, it's like, now it's getting kind of, you could have just said hello. Like you know, like talk about it. Just say some stuff. Like, if you just talk to Mandy and work it all out, instead of just being an assumer. That's not what the word that. You're just assuming that Mandy doesn't want to talk to you because you see her talking to somebody else. It's like, oh, maybe she's talking to somebody else while she's waiting for you to come by, and then when you arrive, she'll start talking to you instead. Like, just go chat. All right, so up next we had the main event. There was a segment after this, but this is the final match of the episode. Naomi versus Carmella. The winner will fight Bayley at Super Showdown, and Naomi wins the match via her splits moonsault. So that will be super, super exciting. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Like that, and then this next match are the two that I'm really the only two matches that I'm looking forward to at Super Showdown, and they might be the only two that I watch. I don't know. We'll see. But if I wake up like in time for the start time and I'm not doing anything else that day, which I'm probably not doing anything else that day, I will watch the whole thing, or try to anyway. But yeah, congrats, Naomi. Could she win? Yes, I think she could absolutely win. Where do things go from there? If she won, then that could mean that, well, either way, apparently this was going to be the WrestleMania match, which would make sense with Naomi in Florida again. And if she won the championship in Florida, that'd be pretty cool. But now with the change to this, I don't know what they're going to do. If Naomi wins this, that would be pretty cool. But there's still hope, I think, for it to be Bayley versus Sasha at WrestleMania. I think that would be pretty cool. But we'll see, because it sounds like the plan is Elimination Chamber is going to determine her opponent at WrestleMania. So the only person we know who is in there is Lacey Evans, but we could also see let's see, who else could be. Carmella probably want to be in on that. We could see Fire and Desire in there. We could see Alexa and or Nikki in there, and then of course Naomi will want to be in there for another shot. So I think that pretty much fills it out. But we could also see a surprise appearance by somebody from NXT. I think that would be really cool, because the women's Raw match. Well, okay, we already have Shayna in the Raw match, so that's already somebody coming over from NXT. But if I like Mercedes Martinez in there, would be super, super cool. Even I wouldn't expect her to win, but she could be in the final two of the chamber match. I don't know. We'll see what happens after Super Showdown. And that brings us to the final segment of the night. Goldberg comes out and he says, "Whatever you are, wherever you are, I'm ready." The Fiend And he says, "I'm here to take your championship." We have Bray there in Firefly Funhouse saying some stuff. And then the Fiend arrives there in person. And Goldberg is like, "Oh, you're right behind me. Okay." And he turns around and he spears him. And then the Fiend disappears before he can get jackhammered and the rest. So I think that that this instance of the spear should be called the Disa-speared. Thank you very much. That brings us to 205 Live, episode 167. We had 3 matches in this episode. We had Joaquin Wilde versus Raul Mendoza, who were just teamed up together to fight Danny and... No, not Danny and Oni. They fought Grizzled Young Veterans on NXT this week. So interesting to see them fighting each other, then teaming up, then fighting each other. They are the half as heavy Dominic and Keith Lee. But anyway, Raul Mendoza won this match. The last time they faced each other, I think Joaquin won. Then we have Leo telling Breeze to get out of his face when Breeze was trying to help him feel better after having lost to Angel Garza. No, he didn't lose to Angel Garza. He defeated Angel Garza, but he lost to Jordan Devlin on NXT this week. And that leads us into the match of Tyler Breeze versus Samir Singh. Tyler Breeze wins via supermodel kick. And as this match was about to happen, A was so fed up with the Singh brothers. He said, I might walk out of this match. I might just leave. And that was really funny. Aiden is so great. I think Aiden is my favorite on commentary of all of the shows. He's so funny. Nigel is really funny too. I think in my opinion, those two guys are the funniest. Which it isn't necessarily the most important thing about commentary, but I like to enjoy listening, and being funny is the most enjoyable thing, I think. Anyway, then we had our main event, a no disqualification tag team match. The team of Danny and Oni, or Lonnie Orca, versus Arya Daivari and D. Brian Kendrick. And they do their... At one point they do the get the table. Oni! What? Get the table! The whole Dudley thing. But they hit a DDT to the commentary table. I forget who they did it to. And then they... it might have been to Arya Daivari both of these times. The commentary table does not give. It does not break or anything. It's that impact DDT, so it's their feet are up on the other person's shoulders and everything. But they hit that to Arya Daivari at the end, and Danny pins him for the win. But go watch this episode. Go watch this match and this whole episode. But the other two matches are they're all right. But this main event, 205 Live is back on track. Last week I was super worried. This week it's fantastic. This main event is. And then next week we're going to have Leo Rush leading a team of 5. So he has 4 people to pick for his team versus Tony Nese and his team of 5. And the graphics has it as NXT on one side and 205 on the other. So I don't know who Leo is going to pick for his team, but I have a feeling that Nese will have Arya Daivari, the Brian Kendrick, and then his tag team partner from last week, Mike Kanellis. And then I'm hoping that the 4th member that he picks to finish up the team of 5 will be Jack Gallagher, because we haven't seen him in a few weeks. I think they would all work together great as a team, because they're all OG. Well, Mike Kanellis isn't, but they're all original 205 Live guys before they started to get merged with NXT more. And before the Cruiserweight Championship became the NXT Cruiserweight Championship. So, that's going to be a killer match. It's an elimination match. So 10 guys, elimination match. That's got to be the entire episode of just that match. And that's going to be freaking great. So that is everything for SmackDown, for 205 Live, for Sonic the Hedgehog, for Dragon Ball Super Volume 2. Let me know what you thought about all of that stuff by tweeting me at TIW Podcast. Go to TIWpodcast.com for more reviews. If you enjoyed this episode or anything else on the site, please share some links with your friends. Subscribe in iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, wherever you like to listen. Stay safe out there in all of the infinite multiverses, and I'll see you next time here on TIW Podcast. Bye.